think there's so much pressure on entrepreneurship. Like, I'd love to go. Like, I watched the episode of The Voice the other night. Randomly turned the TV on. I was like, oh, The Voice is back on, and I watched an episode and I was like, oh man, I'd love to be able to sing, but guess what? I can't sing. Right? I can't sing. Now I can go do some lessons. I can hire a coach, and I could learn how to sing, and I'll probably be able to belt out a few good tones, and I might be able to sound at least respectable for busking on the street. But guess what? I'm not ever going to be a great singer. And guess
Yeah.
what? Not everyone who starts a business is going to be good at it. It's just the
Yeah.
reality. And I think there's not enough conversation around it right now to go, hey, I don't think you are actually cut out for this. It's like, if your friend sucked at singing, would you say, hey man, do not go on The Voice? You're going to embarrass yourself. Well, I would.
Yeah.
I'd go, dude, I don't know what you think you're hearing, but I'm hearing something completely different, right?
Yeah.
I would recommend not to do it. Now, there's people who are starting businesses, and hey, don't get me wrong, I appreciate everyone's effort, and I love the fact that people want to go out there on their own and do things. But if you're not good at it and you don't have it in you, I feel that there's this DNA inside entrepreneurs who really should be founders, startups of businesses. And the sooner you can realize that maybe you're not the person who should start the business, or add a caveat, maybe you shouldn't start the business by yourself, right? Or maybe you should get some assistant or someone in the business who knows how to do a lot more than you do, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So you can play in your lane,
Yes.
right? I don't think there's enough highlighting around that entrepreneurship now is exciting and fun. It's like, yeah, I'm going to start my own e-commerce business because I've seen old mate post about it last night. He put a screenshot up and he made $30,000 this week in e-com, and now he's creating a course around it to show you how to do it. Like, I just think that entrepreneurship is a specialized skill set within itself, right? Because it's not just the how do I do it, it's how do I think my way through it. Why am I doing it? What's even the purpose of this? And truly aligning. My vision at the early ages when I started making money, let's say, I was 11 years old, and I shared this was my first ever business, right? Let's be honest, for those out there, it's not a business. I didn't have a PTY LTD, I didn't have any payroll, but I was out there working, right? I was on the streets, I was door knocking, I was like, knock, knock, knock. My sales pitch was, hi, my name is Brett Campbell. Do you have any jobs for me? And people were like, no, no, no. And I went all the way down the street, and some people would start saying, yeah, okay, yeah, I've got some of you can do the weeding in the garden, or, you can mow my lawns. And what I found was, once I'd gotten to the end of the street, I go back to the other end of the street, and I was like, I learned from things that I learned in the first time. I'm like, knock, knock, hi, my name's Brett Campbell. Do you have any jobs for me? I can mow lawns, I can do the weeding, and I can wash your cars. And they're like, oh, actually, yeah, you can. Someone who said no last time said, yeah, okay, you can wash my car, because I gave them that thought, right? But my point there is, my vision at that time, why I was so dedicated after school, every day after school, I'd go out, hit the pavement to get jobs, to generate money. My vision at the time was to generate as many $2 coins as I could. Here's why. $1, I would go and buy jet plane lollies, my favorite lolly hands down. And the other was to get 5 20-cent pieces, because I could normally clock Street Fighter with 5 20-cent pieces.
So you had a why, you had a motivation.
That was it.
Yeah.
So I had a reason. There's people starting businesses right now without even the, why am I doing this? Right? There's no real deeper connection to why people are doing it, and I just think it's a scary place for a lot of people out there right now.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like this is a conversation that has a lot of different dynamics to it, and I think it's important. What I don't think is spoken about much is the different types of entrepreneurs you can be, the different skills you can have as an entrepreneur. Because an entrepreneur, it's not linear, in my opinion. It's not like this is a good entrepreneur, this is a bad entrepreneur.
Correct.
You can see entrepreneurs that are really successful, but they'd still have strengths and weaknesses.
Yep.
And every single entrepreneur would have a different assortment of strengths and weaknesses. Some would be more strong in finance and operations. Some would be more strong in sales. Some would be really weak at sales, but really good at product design. And you can have different, like, I can't imagine Mark Zuckerberg being very good at sales, but he's a phenomenal entrepreneur. He's great at tech, and he's great at like innovation, and he's an incredibly strategic thinker.
Yeah.
But there's different strengths and weaknesses that you can have. And so I think what's important is to not look up to certain entrepreneurs that you aspire to be like. There's got to be a conversation with yourself and some reflection time to go, what am I good at? What am I not good at? And try to find people that have similar personality types, similar strengths and weaknesses that you can model. Because I don't think it's like you've either got an entrepreneurship or you don't, but there might be like the strengths and weaknesses. And if there's 5, or let's say there's 10 different strengths and weaknesses, or capabilities you need to have, there could be a total if it's from 0 to 10 in terms of what you get scored in these 10 different things. And if you're 10 out of 10 on all of them, you're 100. Maybe if total your scores less than 30, then you're not cut out for it. But if there might be, you've got a score of 40 because you're strong in these, you're 8 out of 10 and these 5, but then the other 5, you're 0 out of 10 different qualities and capabilities. I think it's important for people just to understand themselves really well, because you're great at sales, you're great at speaking, you've got a great strength of character, you've got great strategic understanding. I've got similar skill sets. I'm really, really weak at operations. I'm really weak at organization. We were talking last time about strengths and weaknesses after the podcast. And I said, one of my weaknesses is, consistency and following up with things, and just, that's that organization component. And I suck at it, but I'm a powerful entrepreneur in my own unique way.
I think that if you look at entrepreneur, using the metaphor of singing again, there's rappers, there's people who can sing opera, people who are pop, etc. Entrepreneurs are being labeled as entrepreneurs. It's like it's such a huge. It's like, might as well say
like artist.
Human. Yeah, you're human, right? Okay, cool. What does that mean? Like I think I said this last week. I'm not sure, but I've sort of had a bit of over the last 3 months. This is a new narrative. Often, quite at times, narratives start really amplifying within my own thought process, and I really, and this is part of my insatiable curiousness to just figure things out and try and take it to a depth of where I can no longer understand, right?
Cool.
So when it comes to like entrepreneurship, I'm like, well, and you're hitting it on the head there with regards to the abilities of, you might have stronger abilities in sales or marketing or operations or leadership, or ultimate top line visionary, like a Richard Branson, for example. It's okay to be whatever one it is. You don't have to be all-rounded, because there is no all-round, fully developed entrepreneur who is good at all aspects, because the ultimate reality of an entrepreneur, and I've really only embraced this, and I've been building teams since 2008, but not until, the last few years of really building out, an organization of, experts in their own fields, etc. So I can personally, essentially, be hands off. It's made me understand that, one, it's not about how do I do this, because that's the starting phase of an entrepreneur, right? It's when we got our training wheels on our bike. We don't know how to ride a bike, so we've got our training wheels on, and we're always asking, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I market? How do I say? What's my sales process? How do I do my taxes? You should be asking who, right? Not how, who. That is, for me, the biggest game changer and the biggest tool an entrepreneur could have in their toolkit. It's not how, it's who. Who can I get to help build this? Or who can I get to bring in their skill set where they're potentially maybe better than me at it, or they're at least passionate about it, or they can actually do an adequate job, okay? So that's a real big framing, first and foremost. It's not how you figure it out, it's who can help you figure it out, right? Elon Musk didn't build the rockets that just went to space, right?
Wouldn't surprise me if he can't.
Yeah, probably wouldn't, to be honest. Yeah. He probably had them built when he was 6 years old. But you look at it and you go, I identify myself at this current moment, in this current test of time, is I use the comparison of, I've got my bachelor in business, right? So I'm very well-rounded in a lot of aspects of business, right? And I had to do that the hard way, because I didn't understand this who concept. I was like, how do I do it? How do I do it? And I'd use every waking hour to try and figure it out. And I could only do that and become that because I was very different, right? If you don't have that as an innate thing of how do you figure things out, then you're never going to be able to learn to start with, right?
Yes.
But
I think a simple thing to jump in on there is like, if you were meant to be in business, you'd have a business. Like, if, you know, if you wanted to have a business, you just start a business. And if you don't know things, you figure it out. If you can't figure it out, you find someone that can. But it's just like you're saying, the initiative needs to be there. That's
Yeah.
us. That's just like, initiative has to be there.
Yep.
That's what a lot of people do lack. And that's where they fall below the kind of like minimum threshold of entrepreneurial talent or character or whatever you call it.